Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have a special guest joining from Florida, United States. So please, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I am Jean-Bertrand de Lartigue, and I worked for Motorola for 22 years.
Wow.
And yeah, and then I left Motorola and started my own company. And since then, I have created 3 companies. The latest one is Reinvention, which is a company that is helping construction companies to achieve their vision.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So now let's talk a little bit more about this journey. Why, if you have an amazing, comfortable career in corporate, why you decided that that you're gonna live this comfortable life and become an entrepreneur, which is something that is very risky thing to do.
It was quite risky, and it was not an easy decision. But I was living in Germany at the time, and I was the head of a German division for electronic and systems. And my wife didn't really like Germany. She was a little bit scared, and I was coming from the UK. So I said to them, I said, well, look, I have been here for a long time. Now it's time for me to go back to go back to the UK. Do you have anything for me there? And they say, oh, no, but we have something in the States. Say, okay, fine. What do you have in the States? And they wanted me to be the finance director for worldwide division of automotive and telematic at the time. But it was just in the middle of the recession, and the Americans didn't like me. So they decided that decided that I shouldn't go to the States, that they probably had somebody over there that would be able to do the job for me. So I said, well, so what do we do? Say, oh, well, you stay in Munich. I said, no, I want to stay in Munich. I want to go back to the UK. I said, well, you go back to the UK and you travel every week to Munich. I said, well, no, I'm not interested in that. I'm too old for that. So thank you very much. So I say, what about you give me a little bit of money and I will leave? So I did. And that was quite a shock when I find myself alone without anybody around me to do the job that I was doing, that I was expecting them to do. But I was on my own, and so I had to reinvent myself.
Wow. So, and let's talk about this process of reinvention, right? I think that we sometimes in life, and we have, for example, now COVID, that a lot of entrepreneurs have been forced to reinvent themselves and to change the business model and to adapt to the new marketplace. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs out there that at some point in their life, because of advance on technology or for external reasons like COVID, all of a sudden the business it doesn't work anymore and they have to come back in a different way with a new product and with a different idea? Which advice do you have for these entrepreneurs?
Well, to be proactive. That's the first thing that I would say is important. Then they should be resilient because it's tough out there, and success doesn't come without anything. So you have to work hard to succeed. So work hard, be proactive, clarify what you want to do, have a vision, and don't do it yourself. I mean, that's the mistake that a lot of people are doing. You just say, oh, well, I am good enough, I can do everything myself. No, you can't. You need to have a team around you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will never succeed.
But
So that would be my advice. And my advice also is you will need money.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, the money is very important.
Mhm.
So how do you do that? I mean, do you spend your own money? Yeah, but it's limited. So you will have to think of borrowing money from somebody. I will start with friends and families because it's much easier. And they know you, they are confident in what you are doing, they know that you were successful before. So, just do that. Just go to the family, just say, well, help me, please. If that doesn't work, or if it's not enough, you can go to business angels.
Mhm.
Uh, and that if you can get it, I mean, this is, I think you should re-plan what you have to do and what you want to achieve. Because without money, you can do it. And if you count on banks to loan you money, well, they will, maybe, maybe not. But this will be my last resort to go and loan and get a loan from the banks. They are difficult to deal with. They don't care if you fail because they will probably get their money somewhere else, and they will put you down.
You
So
have to take the box with them, right? With the banks, yeah?
yeah,
If
yeah.
you're not
So
inside this box that they have to take, you are out, right?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. But if you are successful in raising the money you need, that's good. You will need more money. And then, that's when you should go to the venture capitals,
Mhm.
because uh, that is a time to grow your enterprise and to do something different. And you can't do it with your own money. You can't do it with your family money. That's not possible because you need much more than that.
Yeah. And
That's
then
basically my advice to them.
so then, because in this podcast series of podcasts that we do in Unstoppable, we are projecting to interview over 5,000 entrepreneurs. 1 out of 5, I will say, that come to the podcast are tech entrepreneurs. So what we are positive and confident that the technology space is a place that you can become really, really wealthy. However, like you said before, when it comes to technology, the money of your family and friends is gonna finish really, really quick, and because it's expensive to develop the product. So, what was the first product that you decide that you're gonna launch from your after 20 years, Motorola and all those giant technology companies? So, which product do you decide that it was good to create, and why, and what made you think that people will buy that product?
Well, when I was at Motorola, we just implemented an HR software, and I thought it was brilliant. I really liked it, but I said, well, small and medium-sized company will never be able to afford such an expense. So, what if I buy the software and implement the software in small size companies?
So you decide that this software you're gonna use as software as a service, a SaaS company, and to offer to all different companies.
Yeah, to small size companies.
Yeah,
Well,
why
that
did
was foolish, you know. That was really foolish.
yeah,
But I didn't know at the time.
yeah. But this is a very good lesson. This is what happened with entrepreneurs, and we have and it's part of the journey because we tech entrepreneurs. What we find, I also invest in tech companies, and usually what we find is that ideally people what they think they do. Oh, this software is brilliant. Let me create this product. Let me put all my money, my effort, my resources creating the software. And then after the product is ready, oh my God, you realize that you need 80% of the money, time, and effort is to market that software and to try to make it what we call a product market fit, because it's never what you design, it's what
Yeah,
the clients want to
exactly.
buy, right?
What the market wants, you know.
Yeah. So
And
then
oh
what
my
happened?
God,
You went
the
out to sell
problem.
the software and nobody bought it?
Well, I mean, I had my wife, you know, and she started to say, "What about the house?" Well, say, well, I mean, you know, we have enough money, we have good house, don't worry about it. And she says, yes, I'm worrying sick, you know.
A tech company will eat your house, will eat all your
Exactly,
portfolio,
exactly,
will eat your life. It's very expensive, right?
exactly, exactly. But, you know, I found out very quickly that not only the small size company didn't want the software for their HR, but they didn't know what HR was, and they didn't know what strategy was.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I said, so why do I do that then? Why don't I do something that will be less expensive and will work, because it's what I know how to do is to set strategies for them. So I started to do that. And then that was my first consulting firm that I changed from a software SAS company to a consulting firm. And then I said, well, I don't want to be on my own. This doesn't work. I'm bored. I need to have people around me. So what I did is I invented a sort of a franchise, you know. And I said, well, if you work with me, you can have your own company. You can do whatever you want, but you do it according to a set of rules. And we defined the rules to work together. And little after little, we opened a very nice technology consulting firm with two of my friends from Motorola, two of my old friends from Motorola.
Wow.
And that was fantastic. I mean, you know, that was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. And then I had a friend in France that called me and he said, well, we need a chairman. So you need a chairman for what? Say, well, we are launching a VR company and we need somebody to guide us. Said, well, okay. I didn't know anything about VR at the time, but you know, I thought it was quite interesting. So I learned a lot of market, and then you know I got excited about it, and that was VR, that was AR, and I mean all these nice things, and you know visualizations and things like that. So I got really enthusiastic about it, and. As chairman, I was a little bit forceful and I wanted them to do things I didn't want to do. So I said, okay, guys, you're in France, you stay in France, you don't want to be international, I want to be international. So let's separate and I leave you with all my advice. You do whatever you want with them. But I will set up my own company in the UK. Because I was in the UK at the time. So I did. I
What do
did
you open, a
start my,
VR company in UK?
yeah. Yeah, I
Wow.
started my company in the UK.
a VR company without without knowing anything about VR? Do you think that was a good idea?
Well, I mean, when I was at Motorola, I stayed a lot of time in the UK, so that's where my network was, and it was much easier to just do it wherever I
Absolutely,
knew people.
absolutely. When you have,
Um, I
yeah,
hesitated to go to France, but I have left France in a long, long time ago, and I didn't have the right network over there, so I decided that that was not the right thing to do. But I was in the UK and I stayed there.
UK,
And
brilliant. I'm based in London, and the tech hub
no,
is amazing,
I
man.
was based in Wales.
Oh my God, no, in Wales.
Yeah,
You're not
in
gonna go
Wales.
far in Wales with tech. You have to go to London.
Well, I mean, my wife wanted a big house. I say, I won't have the money to pay you a big house in London, so I pay you a big house, but
In
we
Wales.
have to live somewhere we can afford it. So
Yeah.
we went to Wales, and yes, we had a big house in Wales, and we were close to Cardiff, so that was very nice.
Mhm.
Uh, we stayed there about 18 years, so
So what
that
happened with the VR company? Do you still have it? Did you sell it? Did it succeed? What happened with that one?
well.
Because now with the metaverse and everything, it comes all of a sudden a big hype about the VR, but it's getting slowly to the public to adapt, right?
Well, let me tell you that then I said, well, I can't do it myself. So I asked my son, who at the time was a freelance technical guy, and I said, well, you want to set it up with me? And he said, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And he said, oh, the first thing we have to do is to develop a software.
Oh, and then you said,
Um,
"Oh, no, 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 no! I've been there. Don't
and
even think about it."
I told him, is there a software on the market that we can use? And he said, maybe. So we found one. And then we started with this one. But then he says, well, it doesn't do what I want. So, yeah, but I mean, putting money into a software,
It's
it will be
expensive, yeah.
expensive. I said, oh, well, Dad, we have to do it. We have to do it. So it was my son. So what do I do? Well, I said, okay, let's do it. And
And do you know who's
we did
gonna buy
it.
it?
Well, we asked somebody to develop the software for us. So he was a technical guy, and
Do you have an indicator that there was a demand for the product?
yeah, I knew there
Ah,
was a demand, and I
how
knew
you
there
find
was
this indicator? How you knew that if you guys develop this software, people actually will buy the product? How you have this?
well, I mean, you,
You
you
never know,
have to
right?
like risk, and you have to say, I take the risk. Because you are not sure of anything. You are not sure of anything, but you say, well, okay, I'll do it, and I'll take the risk. So we did take the risk, and fortunately we did it because we were able to sell our software to a few companies, but not enough to be successful. And that's when I said, okay, let's be realistic with this software. We won't make money out of it, so we have to find another way to do it. And he says, oh, Dad, what do you have in mind? I said, well, uh, I know that the construction company are very slow in taking technologies.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that without technology, they won't be productive, and a lot of them will go bankrupt. So I said, let's learn what technologies they need, and let's see
Great idea. What
what
we
it
have,
is.
we can
So
adapt.
I learned a lot about BIM. I don't know if you are familiar with BIM, but BIM is building information modeling.
Mhm.
So I thought at the beginning that it was just a technology. I find out that it's more than that. It's really a culture. It's a new way of doing things. And I got really excited about that. And so I started to talk to a lot of architects. I started to talk a lot of engineers, and finally, I met one of my old friends who was an architect, and he says, "Well, I want to join your company." I said, "Why you want to join the company? I mean, it's just starting." And he
We
said,
have two
"Well,
people, me and my son.
he said, I know you, and I'm confident that you will guide us to the right place." So I said, "Okay, fine." So we did, and we started Driving Vision at the time, and Driving Vision really, was thinking of BIM, how to implement BIM, how to implement a change in the company. So I started to talk to a lot of people worldwide because I saw that whereas UK was quite advanced in developing the technologies and developing BIM because it was mandated by the government. So it does help. If you want to work for the government, you have to be able to use BIM. But I said, well, BIM is for everybody. It's not. I mean, it's not for small project. It's for small project, large projects, infrastructure, building houses. Everywhere you should use BIM because it's a way of working. It's just mind changing doing of creating business buildings, and also with the sustainability problem that you have now with climate change and all these things, you have to be ready for that, and you have to have a lot of technology. So I learned about all these technologies, and I was talking about about the technology, and I was saying, well, what can we do? How can we do more for you guys? And then, people were excited about what I was doing. So they started to order. So it was quite good. So we did well. And then my son find a job somewhere else because he thought that, I was a little bit crazy. And he said, "Well, Dad, you like risk. I'm not. I am more risk averse than you are, and I don't think I will go there." So what happened is he said, "Well, okay, but I will keep an eye on you, and I will try to see what you are doing." So that was good. And then what I did at the time, I said, "Well, okay, I will talk to my network and my teams," and then suddenly an idea came to me. Say, "Well, with all the knowledge I have now, what do I do with it? Why don't I write a book?" And because I was blogging and I had a lot of articles, and I didn't know what to do with that. So I said, "Well, okay, what I will do is I will take all these articles, I will put them all together, and up, the book will be done." Well, doesn't work that way.
Oh, a book is like having a baby, yeah?
It doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, when I had put all them together and I looked at them, I didn't mean anything. So I said, "Jesus Christ, what is that?" So I called my son, and I was depressed. I was really depressed. Say, I've I've spent a lot of time trying to do something, and he said, "But Dad, you have all the material. Just sort it out." "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, write a book. You wanted to write a book. Now you have the content. Write a book." So I had to think about what I wanted to write, because well, what will be the achieved product? And then that was that I started to think about it, and then I decided that, well, okay, that's too much for me. So I said to him, "No, I give up. I give up. I think I will retire." And he said, "No, you won't retire. You will die if you retire. So don't do that." I said, "Okay, fine." I said, I'll go to, I'll move to Florida anyway." Say, "Well, yeah, move to Florida.
Good place
So
to write the book. Very peaceful.
sorry,
Florida is good place to write the book. It's very peaceful. Yeah.
it is.
UK is very busy. Very difficult to
Yeah.
concentrate in UK. Yeah.
So basically, I moved to Florida. My wife is happy because she lived in Argentina, she lived in the south of France, and so being in the sun was a big change for her.
Good idea.
So she is happy. So she leave me alone now and in peace to write my book. And then one day I was swimming in the pool and I say, well, I better have to think about this book the way it should be. And I found a way to put all these things together and I wrote my book.
Wow, big task. Congratulations.
Big task, yeah.
Oh, I have
And
a
I
couple
just
of books. It
published
has
it.
been painful to write them.
And I just published the book.
Okay,
And I sold it.
what's the name of the book? Do you have a book
Uh,
there? Show
the,
it to us.
the name of the book is how to surf the waves of change in the construction industry.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, but with all the content I had, with everything I had, why should I keep this for me? So I just did it for the rest of the world, and I'm happy. I sold 100 books right now, and I
Oh,
started in July.
yeah. And then,
So
the book we gave you a lot of a lot of speaking engagement. I quite often get invited to speak as a keynote speaker because of my books. And so then how the software is the software that you created to help the construction company, is the company still around that you managing, or how this works?
yeah, I mean,
Like a
we
franchise, right?
Well, yeah, well, what we did is we had a lot of associates now. So, it's working on its own and it's doing well. So I just have to be involved once in a while and give ideas on what they should do and don't do. But now I have more ideas. I have 12 books in mind.
12 books? Oh my God,
Yeah.
you will love to meet my girlfriend. She's a book publisher. You guys talk for years. So,
Yeah, well, my wife is not happy with that, and my
ah!
one children said that I am completely crazy.
Mhm.
But anyway,
Oh, the
that's
books, I think that I like it to write also. It's like a gym for the mind, and once you have the structure, can be very productive. And this is sometimes in the life of the entrepreneur, you start to think, okay, what can I leave behind? What can I leave to know other generation, to learn something about what I did, about mainly my mistakes and my and the success, right? So at the end of the day, so you're gonna write, your plan now is to write 12 books after you
12
finish
books.
your first one. 12 books. Wow.
12 books. Yeah, I have 12 titles. Now I have to put the rest.
12 titles. Wow, fantastic. They are all related with technology. They are all
Well,
it's
they,
about
they are all
construction
related
and
with the
technology.
construction industry. They are all related to the construction industry. Yeah.
Wow. Construction or construction and technology industry?
Construction 4.0 is really what it is.
Because at the end of the day, I think that everything is technology now, right?
It
So
is, yeah.
everything is
Yeah.
tech. So I think that one of the software that we I'm part of this company. We do procedural 3D modeling for the construction. I mean, for the VR, for the metaverse, and also for the construction modeling. I think that, what is your view because when it comes to visualization, these softwares out there like 3D and the other softwares out there that that you can model stuff, right? But it's very difficult to visualize, correct?
Well, I mean, with to visualize with VR and AR is very good. I mean, that's where my experience in VR and AR are very good. I mean, with VR, you can basically
Explore the building before you buy it, right?
well, exactly. I mean, and people can experience the space in the building, which you can do with a normal 3D visualization.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that is it. And then also
So how are you doing the visualization? You using different software? You using the platform that you develop? Or how are you doing this visualization because if you're gonna spend $1 billion building a massive building, would be a very good idea to explore it before you actually invest, right?
Yeah, well, it's wise to do that.
Yeah.
But you know what well, the software problem by doing yourself a software is you don't have the money to expand it.
Mm-hmm.
But I came back to my first idea, find the software that is already existing on the market and assemble it with other things. And so basically, now I don't have the expense. My clients will have the expense.
Mm-hmm.
They will have to pay for the software.
Absolutely.
They will have to sell, and I will tell them how to do it.
Fantastic. So you're working as a consultant, right? Which is the best.
Well, I have. I mean, we have developed some diagnostics, so we can look at where they stand in terms of technology, where they stand in terms of implementing BIM, where they are in terms of implementing BIM. So basically, we have six diagnostics that we have developed, and we can just do that before starting any work with anybody.
And I think that modeling is a big part of it because, like I said, we, especially in the big projects, if you can actually model what is going to happen before actually you build it, that could be a huge saving in terms of productivity because you can analyze different scenarios. Like, for example, if you're going to do, some people are doing smart cities now, and okay, how the energy would be more efficient, how the trees are going to be positioned to be more efficient, how the water flow is going to go. And if you can model, you can have different variation, different scenarios, and you can pick the optimum even before you.
And there is a big issue in the construction industry right now. The houses are too expensive to build.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to find a way to not build cheap houses, because that's not the idea. The idea is to build houses that will be adequate for people, but with a good quality. So one of the technologies that I am pushing is modular construction, or and that is, to me, the future of the construction. And you will have a lot of help from, if you are a company, a construction company, you will have a lot of help from government, because they need to build houses.
Mm-hmm.
They all need it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is very, very important. This is the future. And so modular construction is definitely one of the things. And if you associate modular construction with BIM, with VR, with AI, with
Oh my God, you're going the right path.
you are there, and you can be very, very productive, and you can find how to build something. So right now we have find the 3D printing machines that are able to build a full house. Can you imagine
You're
that?
gonna print the house. Wow.
In 3D printing.
Wow. That's unbelievable. You will be able to print the house?
To print the house. So basically, you know that's it, and it has been done already. It has been done in Texas. It has been done.
Really? Has been done
Yeah,
already? Wow.
yeah. It's done. It's already done. So it works.
Mhm. Then, so in your experience, what are the 5 steps that tech entrepreneurs should be doing out there to make the first million?
Ah, that's a good question. Um, I'll start with something that I learned from a person I really admire. He said to me, well, no, let's explain. This guy was the CEO of Motorola at the time. And I was the finance director for the communication branch in Paris for France. And he decided to visit France. And so my boss said, you live close to the airport. Could you pick him up at the airport and bring him to the hotel, and then we'll talk to him. So I picked him up. I was very young, at the time. And he asked me, he said, well, JB, tell me, what are you doing to be promoted now? So I was very happy to explain all the nice things that I was doing and things like that. I said, no. Don't give me all this BS. Tell me, how often have you failed? Well, I was very proud, and I was very young, and I was very inexperienced, and I said, oh, almost never. So he said, okay, you're not ready for promotion then. I was shocked, And I said, why? He said, because, if you want to succeed, you have to take risk. And if you take risk, you have to fail. So first thing, don't worry about failing.
100% agree.
The second thing is I met another guy that I really admire also. It's Steve Covey. I don't know if you know him, but he wrote a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. And I met him when we were in Switzerland on a seminar. He was teaching us, and I had the chance to sit with him at the bar after dinner. And we had a long discussion because at the time I was in the UK, and we had a big problem with our finance department that was not successful at all. So I told him, and he said, well, buy my book. I did. And I wrote it. I read it. And then I bought it for all my team. We had 40 people there, bought it for all my team. Well, guess what? We became successful. So my recommendation is buy this book.
Yeah. Be effective. Be highly effective. That's very good.
You will have 7 habits. So I will give you your 5 plus 2.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. Okay, which one is the next?
Well, so basically, I'll say what you need to do is you cannot do things on your own. So you have to synergize, and you have to have in mind that you have to have a win-win situation for everybody. Because if you want to succeed, you cannot succeed alone. You cannot succeed if you try to take advantage of somebody. So it's much better to collaborate, share the success,
Mm-hmm.
rather than failing on your own.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay. And one of the things that I would say is very important, you have to be proactive, listen to your team, focus on goals, get and celebrate results. Celebrate is very important because, when you celebrate, you are all together and you are all enthusiastic, and then you want more.
Mm-hmm.
You want more success. So it's how you deal. And I think the last one is the most important of everything. Be honest and true to your values. That, in my opinion, is the only way you can be successful and happy with yourself.
I
And the money will come.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
be patient. Be patient. The money will come.
Be patient and the money will come. If you
Okay,
do
so
the right thing, money will come.
okay, so last question. Tell us where can we find this book? People that want to learn, that listening the podcast, that they are very aligned with what you just shared with us. You clearly a tech entrepreneur with a big background and with a lot of knowledge and an encyclopedia of experience, being in working for the giants. See, done it in corporate and also as an entrepreneur, building technology, build business and consultancy, which is a very, very competitive space and a space that eat money like water, right? Money
Well,
for the tech, money is
you know what? I
like.
think money is not important.
Mhm,
I think money is not important. You don't think about money as being important. Money is necessary,
mhm,
but not important.
mhm.
You
The difference,
success is much more important. And being proud of yourself is much more important than money.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and follow your vision and be patient, and
Yeah.
and try to go to navigate. The other day, in one of the interviews, an entrepreneur asked me, to me, Harry, what is, if you're an entrepreneur and you're from A, you want to go to B, what is the fastest way? And I told him, well, the straight line. This is the fastest way that I can get. And the guy was telling me, Harry, no, the path with less resistance. Think about the river. The path with less resistance is what is gonna get you there faster. And as entrepreneur, we are just trying to go to 0 to 1 million, and all we want to do is go to straight line from A to B, and trying to and uh,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah,
doesn't work that
you
way.
have to remove barriers. That's my motto is remove barriers for your people, and then you will succeed. So that
Mhm.
is very, very important. But you asked me a good question. You said, where can you buy, when can you buy my
Yes,
book?
yeah. Where
On
can we
Amazon.
find your book? Tell us the name again. Where is it? How you buy this?
You can buy it on Amazon. It's very
Okay.
easy. And it's either on an ebook or you can buy it on paperback.
Show it to
And
us again. Do you have it closer to you, the book?
just a minute. I think my wife has it
Run
on
for
her.
it. Run for it and show us
Just
your
a
book. We
minute.
wait for you.
I'll get it.
Yeah. Run for it and join and show us your book. And I think that there is a very good way to very good. Wow, I love the cover. Let me see. I like the font. Fantastic. Wow, look very futuristic. Yeah. Very, very good. How many pages?
300 and something.
Oh, my God.
374, I
Okay.
think.
So then 11 more to come, right? This is number 12. You already wrote one. So 11 more on the.
No, 12 more.
12 more. So in total will be 13. Okay, very good. So I think keep writing. Writing will help you a lot. I think that not we help a lot to you, it will help a lot to a lot of people. All these books that we write, I always said that the big difference between a successful human being and a human being that is not successful is knowledge. If you get these millionaires like Richard Branson or any, you can take all the money away, you can take everything away from them, and after a year they will be millionaires again because they have a knowledge, they have a skill that they can build it again. So for tech entrepreneurs, for tech on the property tech entrepreneurs, there is an element here in UK, we call it prop tech, property technology. Yeah, that's how they call it. And there is VCs, venture capitalists, that only invest in this type of projects. So for property tech entrepreneurs, the more knowledge you have, and for people with experience like you, it's going to shorten the path for them to be successful, because the trial and error is expensive, and especially in the construction industry is expensive. In the tech company is expensive. If you combine the both, is something really, really expensive to do the trial and error exercise.
Yeah,
So
but there is way to do it for a reasonable amount of money.
exactly. Yeah.
And that's what you have to learn about. And rather than buying the technology, why not you rent it?
Exactly.
That's a
Only way
way,
to do
and you rent it when you need it. So basically,
Mhm.
you have your clients paying for it.
Exactly.
So it's very easy.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. That's been very, very interesting. JB Lanti will keep writing. This is a gym for the mind. It will keep your mind. And I think that organizing the thoughts, especially when you're writing 12 more books, all the experience that you have in all the sectors and combined, I think that you're gonna leave a huge legacy for the tech and construction company, how the future is going to be, because people think that we're going to build houses and buildings in the way that we do it now, and they don't know that in 10, 15 years, it's going to be totally different. We're just going to press a button and that's how it's going to happen.
We go to zero emission, and to go to
Exactly.
zero emission, you have to change the way you are building things.
Absolutely, 100%. So it's an industry that is going to have a big disruption, and new technologies, and there is a space for all that. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me. I really
Pleasure.
appreciated it, and I enjoyed it.
Me too. And for all of you listening, see you in our next episode, how brave entrepreneurs like JB break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Bye.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.